We all know there's certain drugs that are not to be messed with. However, there's been a growing exception for one drug in particular: weed. Weed is seen as a drug with nearly no negatives. It's something you smoke with your friends that have a great night, or something you smoke by yourself to escape a difficult day. But I'm here to tell you, weed is not a miracle drug. Weed is actually very dangerous for many reasons. Reasons you will hear about right now. The motto I've been telling my friends and family for the past 6 months goes as follows: weed makes you lazy when you shouldn't be, weed makes you complacent when you shouldn't be, and weed makes you happy when you shouldn't be. Let me go into greater detail to show you what each part of this motto really means. First, it makes you lazy when you shouldn't be. I mean, this one should just be obvious. Weed, for 99% of people, makes them lazier. I've heard a couple freak cases where taking weed eases the nerves and makes you more productive as a result, but I think a lot of that is just code. Why would somebody with the same mind want to be lazy for hours upon hours? Especially for the people that can afford to be lazy the least. There's been a trend with the people that I see that use weed a lot, and this is lower class people and upper class people. Upper class people mostly use it as a social drug because they got all this money so they can buy the really good stuff, but they get a little bit of leeway given their wealth. Lower class people can't afford to be having weed. They're the people that need to be using this time to get themselves out of the trenches. Most of my friends I talk to that are lower class or working class tell me that they use weed to escape the difficulties that are happening in their life, and they smoke with friends because they're all suffering the same difficulties. And I'm not going to deny that here. Lower class people do have a very difficult life, but using weed is only a temporary escape for them. They need to put in the work, put in the hours, and try to get themselves out of this endless loop. Because guess what? When they have kids, their kids are going to be born into the same loop as them. I can see this in my family right now, as one of my cousins is a little bit addicted. And she just had a kid and still smokes weed around the kid, so when the kid grows older, the kid's gonna think that this is normal and this is how you live your life, when in reality, it's not good and stops you from accomplishing a lot. Weed also makes you complacent when you shouldn't. Most people would be sad if they spent a month working, going home, spending money on weed and pizza, and playing video games. When you're high, however, this is a great night for you. You're on the top of the world, different universe, living life. Being complacent hurts you in every part of your life, whether your work life, whether your fitness life, whether your dating life, whether your social life. Complacency, even for the people at the top, is bad, since you should always be trying to improve yourself. And I think more importantly, this complacency hurts your friends and family as well. Your parents spend 18 years plus raising you, and for them to just see you wasting it away in your bedroom, eating pizza and smoking weed, is quite a terrible pain I can only imagine, and hear about all the time, given the cousin I told you earlier about. My aunt basically just had to take the kid away from my cousin because she could not get rid of her substance and be a capable mother. The most terrible part of weed is when you use it to make friends, or use it with your friends. And I want to say there's some friends that might use weed that are still good friends to keep around. Weed is most likely a negative in their life, but that doesn't take away from anything else positive that they might add to you. But when weed or another substance is the main thing that connects you to your friends, it can become very toxic. The only way you can be social and get your social needs from these friends is when you smoke, slowing down the progress that you're trying to make. The worst part about these relationships? The people in these friend groups that stop smoking weed and trying to change their life stop getting invited to hang out by the other people in their friend group because the friends were friends with the substance, not each other. Tie this all in with how this social smoking is going to make you dumber? I mean, it's been proven that people under the age of 25, and especially 18, get retarded brain development from weed. And worst of all, weed is expensive. You'll start off by getting the cheap stuff that will cost you 1.5 hours at McDonald's. But then you're gonna start wanting to get the better stuff that'll cost you 5 days working at McDonald's. Just get 1 or possibly 2 smoke sessions. All the money you'll be making will be spent on buying this substance, when you could use this money to start a business, save for a car, or buy better food, or literally anything else. Or just go ahead and save yourself the shame of smoking so much. I'm not gonna bring anything else up here because I've either convinced you that weed is bad and you should stop smoking it, or I'm probably just not gonna convince you. But just keep in mind that weed is not an escape from a bad situation. Weed enhances a bad situation. Try your best to resist the urge for a temporary escape and instead put your effort, worries, anxieties towards finding a permanent escape. If you're not gonna do it for yourself, do it for your mother and father and everyone else who raised you. See you next time.